we also just wanted to highlight one of the major initiatives of the Climate Art Program as part of this symposium, which is the Resilient Artists Cohort Fellowship. So as cultural strategist with the Climate Art Program, one of my core responsibilities has been facilitating the San Jose Fellowship over the last 12 months and supporting the incredible cohort of artists you'll hear from today. Cindy's clicking. So early this year, 15 artists deeply rooted in San Jose's rich and diverse cultural communities responded to the city's call to action. They joined the San Jose Climate Art Program to support the city's ambitious goal of carbon neutrality by 2030. Also known as the Resilient Artists Fellowship, this initiative was designed as a comprehensive program to empower artists as catalysts for climate action. Over the course of several months, this group of artists engaged in a journey of learning and transformation. They participated in workshops, in tours, coaching sessions that equipped them with the skills, the tools, and the network to reduce their environmental impact. They also adopted and adapted sustainable practices and took on resources to inspire broader community action. There were 3 components to the fellowship. The first one was cohort-based learning. So the artists came together in a series of learning sessions over the course of 4 weekends in a supportive group environment that fostered collaboration, shared learning, and resilience. They received hands-on sustainability training through presentations on climate smart studios, on sustainable travel, waste reduction, regenerative artist materials, circular economy principles, climate impact assessments, the list goes on and on. A second core aspect of the program was individualized support. So each artist in the cohort received one-on-one coaching and personalized studio visits to develop their own sustainability goals and climate action plans, taking what they learned, taking into account their individual practices, the context in which they work, and tailoring it to their livelihoods. And the third component was community engagement. A core question was, how are you going to take this back to your community? So the fellowship encouraged artists to extend their impact beyond the studio, beyond their artwork, and apply what they learned either in their workplaces, in their communities, in their homes, and inspiring others to take action and build a network of climate-conscious advocates. So in the slides that are scrolling through, you'll see that each artist made a personal sustainability commitment and action plan, along with, and in the slides, they're sharing their personal reflections on progress, on challenges, and their efforts to raise awareness. You'll also see photos from our learning sessions and some of our fun tours. There's a tour that we went to a material recovery facility. But today we're especially excited to hear directly from 5 of these artists. I had originally asked to get all 15 on the stage, but we had to limit it to 5 just for today. They have been on a unique journey to integrate climate action into their work and to inspire positive change in their communities and their sphere of influence. And so they're each going to share how they've embraced healthier materials, how they've reduced waste, and how they've updated their studio operations. You'll also hear their stories of commitment, learn about the projects they've developed as a result to engage others in climate action, and you'll see how they're building resilience in response to the challenges of climate change. So with that, I'm happy to welcome 5 of our 2024 Resilient Artist Fellows: Renée Hamilton-McNealy in the middle, Valentino Loyola here at the end, Kaory Santillan right there, or for me, and Rubalcaba at the end, nailed it, and Elba here at the second seat. So each artist, I guess we're not going to flip through, but so each artist will kind of briefly talk about their work and kind of explain their experiences, their personal stories, their commitments, share how progress has been going, and how they're, communicating that out to others in their communities and networks. So I'll hand it over to you right now, and I'll write it down. Okay.
Okay. Is it evening? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renée Hamilton-McNealy. So happy and grateful to be here. I'm a fine art body painter. I have my studio, Visual Philosophy, on the Alameda. And I must say that this is like a full circle for me because several years ago, I assisted a body paint artist here in San Jose Museum of Art for an exhibit. And I felt like, I'm going to be back here. I love this place. And just to sit here realizing I've shifted from that space to how can I make a difference in my art and how that affects our environment is just massive. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Danielle, Devon, Local Color, yes, San Jose Museum of Art. I have to start with gratitude. So my mind is so expanded since this journey. I am also a licensed esthetician by the state of California of 12 years. So when I paint people, it's not just about cool color on their body. Part of my statement I have is beyond the color, deeper in the paint. I'm very huge on understanding cosmetic chemistry. I have that responsibility of whatever I put, I'm doing my test or whatnot, whatever touches that person's skin cannot be of a negative impact to their health and their well-being, and there's a process to do so. But as we continue to learn so much in this incredible cohort, I had to take it a step beyond that because I give excellent guidance on how that model, that human body canvas, is to cleanse their skin after, but that water goes somewhere. And this experience helped me to dive deeper, especially our studio visit, into I'm using the right thing for the right person at the right time, but what happens once it goes down the drain, I am responsible for that. And I feel that if we take the time to create the opportunities where we can have the conversations and give the right information to people, each one of us have the power to make an impact within our own space. No matter how minor or small it may seem. We talked about the climate crisis, and I have family members from northern to southern Florida who I have been checking in every 2 to 4 hours, yes, with what's happening in the world. And initially in the cohort, my notes were, okay, well, traveling, the planes and missions, so first class is worse. Oh, I love first class. Oh, because I'm really a bad knee. We have a bad knee though. But I'm like, no, we just can't tell others what they have to do. We have to look at what we can do. And just in that time frame, that focus shifted. So what I'm working on now is assessing all of the different products that are used, the different ingredients, the makeup of it, doing research. I'm going to formulate my own product, yes. It doesn't matter to me if it already exists, because the journey of itself makes it full circle to let people know you can go from doing what you believe is your best to improving beyond it. And it just feels really great to be dedicated towards it. Also, the funding aspect is beautiful because when you realize you have artists who have a vision, and when we come together, because I don't know about y'all, but sometimes as social as I am, when I get in that art studio, I'm in a zone, and you can isolate and be in your own world. But we all mention collaboration, connection, connectivity. When we do that, we can maximize our resources and our voices and come together to make even a more impactful difference. I took a couple of notes so I won't forget here. Like even with Local Color, I said many years ago, thank you again for that funding, yay. I attended a body art competition. That was awesome, but I knew that it wasn't the end. So and even get in the studio, then working with other artists, and I look around the room, people that I've seen along the journey, but that connection coming together has made a difference. And I feel that I have the obligation, but also the honor to continue saying, hey, I'm Renée. I'm of Renée Hamilton Fine Art, and I'm committed to being an eco-conscious artist. And I don't remember who's saying in our cohort, but somebody did mention about in their contracts, they're gonna also have that statement within there, and how awesome is that? So it just helped me to go a step further and beyond. And I made another commitment. Like I have several degrees, and I won't say I'm tired of school, but I'm a lifelong learner in life. Yes, that's a good moment for that, yeah. And I did museum studies program with Harvard, and I told them, oh, I want to go back and take some more classes. But now I'm looking at sustainability and learning from that level, and I have a great mentor there as well. So I'm in this for life, and however my knowledge can support you, I'm here for that, and I'm always here to help my fellow artists. But this seems like it's the beginning of something bigger than we all imagine, and I'm sure we'll see each other again, and that's all I have. Thanks so much.
Hi everyone. It's nice to be here amongst all of you. My name is Valentino. Loyola, I'm an interdisciplinary artist with a foundation in photography, and over the last couple of years I have been interested and curious to learn more about the environment, climate change, climate justice, and sustainability. And so when this program came to my awareness, I thought that it was fitting that I give it a shot and try to, find a spot. So it's been a great experience. I'm very grateful to Danielle, to Devon, to everyone that has facilitated this program. So thank you. Last night I jotted down just like 5 main points that I thought were important for me to address in terms of my experience in the program. And so they're kind of just like responses to questions that I posed to myself. The first one being is sort of why I was interested in this subject matter in the first place, and that is that we're living in vulnerable times. We're all experiencing extreme weather phenomena due to climate change, human-induced warming of the planet, and extraordinary amounts of greenhouse gas emissions, and that the communities most affected by these weather extremes are not living in equitable conditions. Communities of color are at high risk of danger. So that was sort of like my interest or my pivot into all of that as a deliberate step forward. The second point I want to mention is that the wealth of resources on sustainability practices was immense throughout the program. It was informative, digestive, and accessible. In brief, the takeaway on sustainability for my art practice was learning about the Future Materials Data Bank, which is a repository of alternative materials comprised of a global community of artists who have contributed their findings to a central online space headed by Future Materials Foundation in the Netherlands. So it's Future Materials, you can Google it, find out all kinds of neat stuff. The third point is that the community of artists that comprise the Brazilian arts cohort is probably the most exciting aspect of the program. It really put me in touch with faces and names that I've seen online, or maybe across the gallery, but never had a chance to meet with them. And learning about alternative methods that we can implement into our art practices, share the new resources with our peers, family, and friends. And another key thing within the cohort that I really enjoyed was the peer-to-peer dialogue. The fourth point, in terms of how after I assess my own art practice, the materials that I'm using, how often and for what, one thing that came out of that was me starting an urgent, non-urgent supplies order list. And because typically if I ran out of something or if I needed something, I would just put it in the cart, order it, and I know it's going to come in a couple of days. So once I began that practice, I started over the middle of the summer, and I suddenly had this sort of this matrix that was telling me, hey, look at all the money you can actually be saving by not buying right away. And so that was kind of like an extra little bonus. So I started that, and the fifth point is that having gone through this San Jose Climate Art program, I view my actions as an artist and practice as an agent for sustainability. And I'm open to expound on any of those points, but I want to make sure that I got them. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure being with you guys here today. So my name is Kaory, Santillan, Bueno. I am a transdisciplinary artist with a focus in ceramics. And then my work is really just geared towards finding and reducing alternative ceramic methods. So I'm really interested in seeing how I can apply some of my cultural teachings from my tribal works. I'm a descendant of the Virarica and Mayani tribes in Mexico. So a lot of our work features beadwork, which I'm wearing today. And I have found ways to use shakira, which is what we call this material in ceramics as part of the glazing process, because glass and ceramics kind of have similar functions and kind of use similar equipment. So what I want to do with that is just seeing how cultural practices can enrich other parts of our artistic journeys, and seeing how cultural knowledge and exchange can be a part of that. So I'm personally committed to lowering my firing emissions, going from maybe the standard double firing that occurs in ceramics to a once firing or maybe a no firing process, and just kind of let the clay do what it wants. And then what I've been doing through that is making an action plan that includes developing a carbon allowance that will allow me to fire some pieces, but maybe not everything to the extent that I want. I also want to take a carbon asset of all the pieces that I have already fired, that I have done years prior or while I was an undergrad, and just kind of see what the baseline is and work towards that. And recently I also did like an audit on my professional art services, and I was able to come to the conclusion that within the last year of my practice, my carbon footprint was around 50,000 tons. No, 50 tons. And then I was able to find a website through the EPA to help me find an equivalence for that would, put it into perspective, because we're like, what is 50 tons? Like, I don't know what that means. So I was able to figure out that 50 tons kind of is the equivalent of about 200,000 miles of a gas-powered car. And we have a van that we've had for 20 years that has that many miles. So comparing it like, wow, in a year, my practice did all that, like need to cut it down, and kind of just finding other avenues that kind of support the work that we want to do and the work that we want to showcase. Like a lot of people mentioned, Jaden, being culturally relevant is really important. Tapping into your own ancestral methodology, and the way that we learn to be from our families, from our environment, is really important. And being able to put that back into our work and showing people that it is possible to have, a diverse practice, but not limiting yourself just to your cultural teachings, because we do have so much to show other people. We do have so much that is to be seen from us. So that's what we really want to showcase throughout the work.
Oh. All right, that's me. So, so I don't know if y'all noticed, I got the hardest seat up here, or chair, so I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to stand up a little bit. Number one, thank you everybody.